Good morning, Mrs. Burnett and Mr. Zanarchu, and good morning, Coyotes. Welcome to Friday Flag. Today is Friday, February 3rd. Like all Fridays, let's begin our day with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Eyes on the flag, hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Hey, congratulations to our two spelling bee representatives from our school who competed on Wednesday night at the district spelling bee held at Thompson Middle School. We're so proud of you, Trinity from Ms. Heinrich's class, 5th grade, and Jaden Lee from Ariano's 4th grade class. They competed with other 4th through 8th grade students across the district. Well done, and way to represent Cole Canyon Elementary School. You're heroes in our eyes. Thank you. Guys and girls, we are doing a great job following the playground rules and working together to enjoy this space that we share. Since coming back from winter break, I've seen great improvement with freezing on the bell and waiting for the whistle. Let's tighten up on keeping our hands, feet, and objects to ourselves. That's the Kafudi rule, of course. Thank you for doing your part to making everybody safe around you and to yourself. Thank you for striving to be a Coyote hero each day, too, in and outside the classroom, no matter where you are on our campus. Find ways to be a hero, helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. And a couple things I wanted to mention. Watches. If you have a data watch, like an Apple Watch or a other type of data watch, that is a watch on your wrist. But the minute that you communicate with it, play a game on it, or do something else like call a parent or your friends, it is then a cell phone, and that is not permissible for you to have on your person. You need to have that in your backpack. So please, let's make sure that we're following that rule. Also, toys, we want to leave toys at home. We don't want any of that stuff to be lost or stolen, so we have that rule as well. And then Pokemon cards or other playing cards have to be at home. You may not bring those to school. So thank you for doing your part to making that happen. And students, if you have a joke to tell, let's record it on the flipgrid.com/cckind little website there. Who knows, maybe you'll be featured on one of our Friday Flag videos someday. Today, though, we have a special message from Luke. He's in Mrs. Livingston's class. So Luke, what do you got for us?
Hi everyone, it's me, Luke Espinoza, and I think we have a problem. We have jackets everywhere like this. So, we should tie them onto us, but as a backup plan, we should put our names on them. And when you're done with them, we'll put them in your backpack. Bye.
Hey, and now we have Mrs. Burnett with the birthdays message. So take it away, Mrs. Burnett.
All right, thanks, Mr. Shaw. Boys and girls, it is the beginning of the month. It's February already, and so we get to recognize February birthdays, excuse me. So up on the screen, you should see a list of names, and if your name is up there, we want to wish you a very happy birthday. I'm sure your teachers are also recognizing you this month, and so are your friends. But boys and girls, if you have a friend up on that list, please wish them a very happy birthday for us. Enjoy those celebrations, boys and girls, and I'll be back at the beginning of March with next month's birthday. Over to you, Mr. Zanartu, for your Mindset Minute.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Burnett, and hi, Coyotes. I hope your week was a good one. Today, I want to talk about tattling and telling, as they are actually two different things. Tattling is when you tell on someone just to get them in trouble, even if it might not be important. This can really hurt your relationship with them because they might not trust you or want to be around you. Telling, on the other hand, is when you speak up to keep yourself or others safe and to solve a problem. This is good because it really helps make things better for everyone, even if it can be a hard conversation. Now, it's important to know the difference between the two, because tattling can hurt friendships and make people upset, while telling can make things better. Excessive tattling can also create a negative atmosphere and make people feel uncomfortable. When someone is constantly tattling on others, it can make it hard for people to relax, have fun, because they're always worried about getting in trouble. And this could lead to tension, conflict, and generally make it difficult to enjoy spending time together. I want you all to know that it's so important for you to seek out help from adults, but it's equally important for you to be mindful of why you're speaking up and to only tell when it's important to solve a problem and to keep ourselves or others safe. This way, we can build a strong and positive relationship with the people around us. And if you think about it, and you can wait until the very end of recess to go tell an adult, think to yourself, what am I doing? Am I telling or am I tattling? So something to think about. This is your school counselor, Mrs. Nartu. Have a great weekend, everyone.
That's great. Now, Mrs. Burnett, she's got another part here. Howley's Heroes. We always look forward to that. Go ahead and take it away.
Awesome, thank you. All right, in kindergarten, in Miss Gorton's class, we have Abby. In Mrs. Miller's class, we have Grace and Camille. And in Mrs. Amkraut's class, Alexis and Evie. And in Miss Eisinger's class, we have Connor and Ella. In first grade, in Mrs. Morad's class, Tristan. In Mrs. Stringer's class, Monica. In Mrs. Murray's class, Ricky. In Mrs. Schaub's class, Knox. In Mr. Reagan's class, Jaden. And in Mrs. Espinoza's class, Jose. And in second grade, in Miss Garrity's class, we have Max. Mrs. Calvio Murray's class, Cozy. In Mrs. Treese's class, Luke. Mrs. Pacey's class, Wyatt and Delaney. And in third grade, in Mrs. Levin's class, we have Nathan. Mrs. Hess's class, Daniel. Mrs. Hewittson's class, Arya. Mrs. Tope's class, Gabriel. Mrs. Hartley's class, Cooper. And in Mrs. Welch's class, Raymond. And in fourth grade, in Mr. Pacey's class, we have Catalea. In Miss Ariano's class, Penny. Mrs. Smith's class, Christian. Miss Trujillo's class, Jacqueline and Jude. And in fifth grade, in Mrs. Bethke's class, we have Haley. In Mrs. Bryan's class, we have Ramis. In Mrs. Greenstein's class, Pepper and Keegan. And in Miss Getz's class, Dom and Isabel. In Mrs. Morandi's class, we have Ava G. And in Mrs. Hemrick's class, we have Dalton. Boys and girls, thank you for being the heroes on our campus. That means you've been helpful, encouraging, respectful, and outstanding. And we just want you to keep up the good work. Over to you now, Mr. Shaw, for those closing thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in today, everyone. We desire that all students strive to be heroes on this campus. Remember, the choice is yours. Have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.